Hello guys, welcome to Walker's World. Woodstock here. Today I want to go over what I feel is a tip more than really a recommendation. It's just something that really worked for me, and we're talking about consumables. Now I've already went over a video concerning one portion of consumables, which include your food, your water, and your fuel. I did the fuel recommendation. I said that if you're doing a backpacking trip of, I think, any day, 5 days or less, you're better off using the 110 gram fuel canister, and that would give you plenty of fuel for breakfasts and dinners, in my opinion. The other thing is food. We all bring either too much food or too less food. As long as you have, if you're out for 5 days, you have 5 dinners and 5 lunches. I think what the real question is, I always underpack the amount of snacks I bring. So I think if anything on your consumables on food, it would be your snacks. But that's not what I'm going to talk about today. Today I'm going to talk about water. And I found this little tip that when I was out on the smoke, I got back from the Smokies. We did a 5-day, a little over a week ago. And in this particular portion of the Smoky Mountains, we followed streams. There were mountain runoffs. There were tributary creeks. All along the way, there was plenty of water. And I was noticing that, you really don't need to carry that much water. And one thing I really hate is when I'm walking along the trail, is to have to stop, take my backpack off, take my water out, drink it and refill it and refilter it. So the one thing that I've discovered that I enjoy using is I bring a 700 milliliter smart water bottle, and I attach the mini to it. Now this mini, a lot of people are always going from the larger Sawyer filter to from the smaller mini filter to the larger one and kind of discard this. And I wouldn't do that. This only weighs 2 ounces. And to carry a 700 milliliter compared to 1 liter, this is 1 pound 10 ounces compared to the 2.2 pounds on a full liter. So what I do is I'll bring this, and on my Z-Packs backpack, if you notice here, I have that little water clip on. Now when I originally got this, it came with some Velcro straps, and they didn't work at all. Every time I pulled the water out, this thing fell off and rolled down the hill. So I pulled these little bungees out, and at first I put 1 on it and it still came out. Then I ended up putting 2 on it on this last trip. I also used it on the Foothills Trail, but I came back home and I ended up putting 3 on it with a different portion of the daisy chain, which now holds on there pretty good. So basically, I think this was originally made for a much smaller bottle than the 700 liter, but this now attaches on here. It's not in my way. So what happens is, and you can see this little clip here, I'll put this clip in here and show you. Filled up my And as you see, as you walk along, instead of taking your backpack off, you can just unscrew the mini filter, hold it under a stream, underwater, one of those mountain runoffs, and just put the mini filter back on, clip it on, and you can drink water to your heart's content all through the trail without taking your backpack off. Now I do bring an extra one of these. I probably don't have to, but the reason I bring an extra one of these is you're always squeezing this, and it could crack, it could break, and also, you do want to have at least 1 extra water bottle. So you're looking at a liter of water. This here at camp would be more than enough to boil water for your dinner and all sorts of that. And besides that, most of the time you're camping along the stream. Now, I'm doing this video not for through hikers or anything. I mean, unless you're doing your research on each section of it to know where the water is. This is more geared at people that do hikes of anywhere from 7 days or less. And normally a section hiker, you're going to get out there, you're going to look at topo maps, regular maps with showing streams on it. You're going to look at 100 YouTube videos. Pretty much there's all the information you want to know about that particular trail you're going to take. Sometimes there's just too much information, and it does take away from a lot of the surprises. But you'll know when there's water there. You'll know that on this trip that there's going to be water, or vice versa, you're going to know there's not water. So this may not work in that instance, but I felt on this particular trip, on the Smokies, on this particular part of the Smokies, and also on the Foothills Trail, that I didn't have to carry that much water, and it saved on a lot of weight. And also I didn't have to carry that much fuel, and I kind of need to dial in my food a little bit better. But as far as the water goes, on the Smoky Mountains, pretty much if you look at the Guide to the Smoky Mountains map, the one that the National Geographic one, it'll show the blue lines going through the trails. It'll show all through that map where there's creeks and streams. And usually if a trail is named after a creek, like Deep Creek or any of the other creeks that are out there, it's pretty much you're going to be around water. So anyway, I do recommend, I do still bring the other Sawyer Squeeze with me. I don't know. I guess I like it because if I do need it, it's a much better flow. But this here, you can just pop the top off, you can drink. Probably the negatives of this is once you squeeze it, I'll show you here. You notice kind of stays in that position, so you gotta pretty much just unscrew it, let a little air in it, and just put it back in, and that'll get rid of that. The other negative thing about doing this is you can't add anything to it like electrolytes or any of that stuff, because apparently it shouldn't go through the filter, so you'll probably just clog it up. So it doesn't weigh a lot, and it was very helpful on my last trip. I found that I could walk next to a stream. I'd have this much water, take the mini filter off it, I'd stick it under, put it back on, and I could drink water and hydrate through the whole thing. So if you find any benefits in this, give me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. I don't know, it's just something that worked for me, and like I said, it's not for everybody. Everybody seems to have their own system, and this just happened to work for me on this particular trail. And when I do my homework on future trails and I see that there's a lot of water around, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I try to carry as less weight as I possibly can, and this is one way in my consumables that I can. So please leave a comment. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And one of those little round circles up there with showing the sunset, just hit that to subscribe. And I'll get back to you next time. And hope you're having a good week.